the next line?
It was critical for the parents to know that you are not just a chairperson. No fun about it. You can do things that ordinary people cannot do, like myself. Parents, as a way of introduction, I'm going to quote from, because the foundation where we come from, our doctrine is based in the Bible. I know that we are living in a secular state and we recognize that. We are not going to discredit or say anything negative about anyone's belief system. But where we are coming from, we believe that the doctrine in terms of parenting, because we have discovered academically, you go to any institution, any school, there is not a course, a book, a program that is packaged specifically for parenting. But the essence and the foundation of parenting, from where we come from, which is that organization, there is the doctrine that is offered in the Bible. So that being the case, I'm going to quote Proverbs 22, verse 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is older, he will never depart from it. Later on, I'm going to submit to you why this holds the truth. Please remember this. Later on, I'm going to justify why this was our opening verse. Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is older, he will not depart from it. Remember, we might not be aware of it. The stuff that we are doing, the socialization and parenting that we are doing for instance. Many years later, they still draw from them as parents, not as adults, and later on as parents. That's why I'm going to submit to you later on why it was critical for us to open with this. Train him up in a way he should go so that later on he will not depart from the teachings. So the agenda, this person is. Without wasting any time, we're going to deal with admin matters, education, define your child, your project, parent-teacher relationship, and we'll be closing. We are not going to be that long. Hopefully at the end of the last bullet, the message would have gone home. May we move to the next slide, sir? So this is the only chance I get to tell the school principal what this is a problem. That's why I'm leveraging on it. After this one, I know I have boundaries. Okay, by way of identification, my name is Malindina. I'm from the organization called Motivational, bottom right on the screen. So we are doing many other things, but for the sake of today's meeting, we are not here to promote our offerings. As I said, we are here as parents. The mandate today is to be parents, to share our experiences with other parents. So in terms of credentials, I previously said that I stood before many forums before. So the tradition and the practice is that if people don't know who you are, that's why we start by introducing your name, who you are. Where do you come from? Why do you think it's important for us to listen, to waste our time listening to you? That's why we normally address all things again before we get to the gist of it. So credentials, NQF level 7, I studied psychology, and QF level 8, I specialized in Hoerskool psychology, and QF level 9, I did fraud risk management, and QF level 10 is work in progress, as I usually say. So please, as I'm standing here, I'm not just standing as a parent. I'm a parent with lived experiences. A parent who draws both from the academic world and the lived experience. So I'm not coming to you to take chances. So when I say to you, parenting is difficult, I know precisely what I mean. And I'm going to quote the lady that I quoted previously. She was an author. She was asked, how does it feel to be a parent after she had the first child? And I quote, I came to parenting like everyone else does, which is knowing nothing and trying to learn everything, close quote. So in simple terms, in layman's terms, that is how we define parenting. That's why I said to you earlier on, there is no book, there is no manual, there is no encyclopedia that will teach you about parenting. So we are parenting kids as well. They have different ages and different phases in life. So you can't say that because we were there when the old one, we went through all the phases. So when the third one comes, you cannot depend on what you did with that one or this one, because it's a completely different ballgame. So I fully understand my word concern. When you said to the principal that, how is this possible? Trust me, I know. That's why at home you teach them, you train them like this. When they get to school, they become something else. I know at home there are kids who are disciplined, who can even quote scriptures. They can even pray for you, man. You get to school, you get feedback that your child is now a leader of terror. The same child that prays at home, they say yes. So I've learned, and I've learned the hard way that, okay, no, there must be some truth in this. It leads you to heaven. So I understand where I'm coming from. At home, they are completely different. Because remember, at home, the nature and the system of discipline is different from what we have at school. So at home, you cannot afford to stand before me and undermine my authority. Because you know there will be consequences. And I even give you permission after I'm done with you that my child, by all means, they will support you. Go and report me to the police station. and we need to take you there myself. That is at home. Because they understand you cannot take chances. There are consequences. And when you get to school, you must recognize that they have rights. This is the same child. The context is different. The same child who obeys the parent, who obeys instructions. The same one you bring into a different context, which is school. They are completely different. They can even tell you to your face that I'm not going to address you as Mr. B2, you are B2, and you can't do anything about it. That is how painful it is. And as I often say that, remember, they are not just educators, they are also parents. So the pain that we feel when they report the felonies and misdemeanors of our kids is the same that they feel because they are also parents. So shall we move to the next one, please? Okay. Remember this, I'm not an educator. So on this slide, Mr. Miku, I'm taking a chance because this is therefore tells Mr. Miku and the audience here. The definition of education. So I'm going to make reference to this. I'm going to make this discussion. I hope you can hear me, Mr. Shokwana. Can you hear me, sir? Ma'am, can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to use the two definitions of education. Those who study psychology and philosophy would recognize Aristotle and Socrates. So this is how they define the concept education or the term education. So to them they are saying that you are preparing a man in exercising all the faculties so that this person can be a value-adding member of any society or any community. That is now Aristotle. Socrates is giving another definition. But the one that is bringing the message closer to home is this simple one, the third one. Remember those guys, the first two, they were highly educated. So that's why their definition is so abstract if you try to internalize it. But then the third one is the one that is aligned to our approach. So Bob says that education is a shared commitment between dedicated teachers. Mr. Milup, the teachers must be dedicated. It's not me, I'm quoting her. And I agree with what Bob is saying. A shared commitment between dedicated teachers. So now, the good thing about this one, it draws a connection between the stakeholders that we are going to address later on and the motivated student, that is learners now. And number 3 is us, the parents. We should exude energy. We are having expectation, but we must be part of the process, as the previous speaker said. So now, I like this third one because it's aligned to the engagement model that we are going to show later on. So, for education to be effective and to make an impact, these three stakeholders, they should actively be visible in the space of education. Dedicated teachers, motivated students, and the parents who are involved, who are energetic, who want to know what is going on. So this definition we are going to run with it as we go through to the other slides. May we proceed? Now, your child project, this is where the theme comes from. We drew a parallel between raising a child and running a project. Those who are in a corporate space will know what a project is. We said there are fundamentally 4 pillars when you are planning a project. So there should be a scope, there should be time frame, there should be quality, and you should be having resources in place. So in the interest of time, we are going to focus on the 4th one, resources, without neglecting the importance of the first 3. So in any project, the first 4, they are critical. Those is the framework within which you do your planning. So in terms of your childhood project, we said resources are the ones that we are going to focus on. So in these resources, our focus is on the 3 stakeholders: the parents, the learners, and the teachers. So there is a guy called Lewis. So Lewis said, I'm going to quote him. The task of the modern educator, they are now referring to him, you messed up around the educators at the back. So the guy was saying the task of the modern educator has changed. Previously, they used to cut down jungles. Now your task is to irrigate the desert. You have a mental picture of a desert. So now, picture a desert being my child. And they say your task is to irrigate the desert. Do you understand how difficult that is? Then it was the case about teaching previously. Now the task has become more complicated, more difficult. There are multi-dimensional difficulties in terms of teaching. So now it is important for us as parents to remember, in as much as we are saying that it is their duty to teach them, but what we used to know as learning them in our time is now completely different. Because now remember, the aspect of discipline is only, one dimension of teaching. If your child is not disciplined from home, and the same child comes here as a learner, that child is not going automatically or by default to be disciplined when they get it. It's the same child that came home, a rebellious child. The only difference is that they were not wearing uniform, but it's the same person. The same rebellion is within them. They are carrying it to school. The difference is the same rebellion is now covered in uniform, and the name is now a learner. The rebellious learner covered in uniform coming to school. So when they get here, the rebellion multiplies. It becomes worse now. That's what I'm saying, I understand why you're coming. Hence, we are saying that train him in a way that he should go. Because when he gets older, it will be difficult for him to depart from that. I'm going to give you a typical example. So in my previous life, I used to do profiling. And this is serious. It's not serious. So basically profiling, I used to profile, the highest that I ever profiled at the time was the minister and the president period. That's all I've profiled executives, CEOs, I've profiled generals. But this one I did not share with the previous people because they did not see. I thought that. Why share this with people who can see? Because you guys can see, that's why I'm sharing this with you. So when we do profiling is something that is done universally, it's not only in South Africa. In America, it's done by your FBI. In England, it's done by these serious institutions. So basically what they do, that they have a methodology that they are using. They work in terms of framework, it's called factors. So the very first one, it doesn't matter how old you are. It can be, okay, these days they don't do from DPQ director, generally not profile. But underneath that, you're expected to be profiled. So the person who's doing a profile, who's profiling you, where they start, it doesn't matter whether you are 49 years, 79 years old, as long as you be profiling. The first starting point is your family background. So I want you to understand why we said that. Train him up in a way he should go, so that when you get older, you never depart from it. Family background, that's where they start. Remember the time now, you are now a doctor, a principal of the school, and you have to profile somebody. We are not going to come and start profiling you as the principal. Because the methodology that they use is that go to the person's previous background to be able to make sense of what might or what you might expect in the future. That is where the rationale comes from. So in family background, when they do profiling, they'll ask you about your parents. Very simple question. And to a person who doesn't understand the rationale behind it, it sounds stupid. The name and surname of your mother, the type of a person they are, what are they doing, how to describe their personalities. And then they'll come to this critical part. Tell us, how were you raised at home? Imagine now you're 57 years old. A professional who's about to occupy a serious space in government or corporate, but you are needed to go through profiling. They'll ask you, how were you raised at home? Tell us about your training. That is when now you need to explain that, okay, I grew up in a Christian family, the discipline was this, and there will be that part of school. Where did you go to school? School, they don't start at university, they go back to where you started. Tell us about your school life. So the type of felonies and misdemeanors that the chairperson is referring to, you might take them light for now. Trust me. At some point in their future, depending on where they are going to end up in life, it's going to catch up with you. If you let them go do as they wish, as they please, go, be rebellious, do as you like, they end up with a criminal record many years from now. They'll be having an opportunity that might require them to be criminally free or without any criminal record. And they are not going to say that, but at the time when you committed this felony, you were just 16 years old, 8 years old. Remember, it stays there. And the criminal record doesn't just disappear. The only time it does, if that has not changed, it is through a presidential file. And it doesn't happen very often. And there are categories of people who will be pardoned by the president. And that happens once in a while, Chairperson, when the president is extremely happy and feels that some people must be released. It's once in a while. But in most cases, the kids who committed felonies many years, they are still stuck with criminal record to this day. That's why if there is a complaint, and if a concern from the school that says that your child is getting out of court, take it serious, take it from me, I know. I've seen many people, your profession, it doesn't matter how educated you are. If the requirement says that you should not have any criminal record, it stays like that. It is a prerequisite. So you cannot say that, but I am a PhD or I have 3 of them lined up. Why should you consider that? No. Chairperson, at 18 years, you stole from a store, you stole from a shop. So now you're 57 years old, you want to be the CFO of a company. How are we going to trust the chief? Because those tendencies, we are not even sure. The only way, which I think you might be lucky, I'm saying I think you might be lucky. If someone along the line you are converted to become a Christian, by the grace of God, a miracle happens. But by the grace, that is the only way. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying from experience, believe me, you cannot just get to. So if they are saying that your child is misbehaving, take it as serious, because whatever they are doing, they are not aware of the future implications. I'm saying I know this because I have it, I've seen them. And most of them will be having this beautiful resume, CVs, qualifications line up. They are very articulate, knowledgeable. But because of something that they did many years ago, it is stuck, it is there. You are just hoping that one day maybe the president will wake up and say that there will be today a presidential pardon. All those who stole many years ago, they are not going to be pardoned. So it doesn't happen very often. It sticks with you for life. So that's why we are saying that train him up in a way he should go, so that when he gets older, he will never depart. Explain to him that, my child, yes, it might not make sense to you now, but there will come a time where I know more. And what I'm doing, what I'm inculcating in you now, it will benefit you many years from now. That's why it's critical, parents, that we are saying that be part of this project. So, shall we continue? So, in terms of the engagement, let's continue. Our model is very simple. It's the one that was emphasized by the speakers who came before me. So, this is the child, this is the learner in uniform, the one who is your project. Remember, here we are trying to achieve the objective education. And our main stakeholder is this child who's smiling, this one. But we know that he can't or she can't do this on her own or his own. So we are going to be needed as parents. That's why we featured it, to make it possible for this person in the middle to achieve whatever they want to achieve. Remember, our job is to make sure that when all is said and done. Okay, before I say that, somebody said something fundamental recently. They said that, and I quote, if you want to understand the character of a nation, look at the character of their teachers now. They said teachers, not politicians, not business people, teachers. Said, look at the personalities or character of their teachers now, and you'll know for sure, 10 years from now, how that nation will look like. Because these are the guys who have what it takes. They are privileged enough to shape what is to come. You understand the responsibility? You understand how crucial that is? They say we look at you now, and we know more of us, okay, 10 years from now, the South African population will be like this. By just observing you, Mr. Udi, and other colleagues and educators in the education fraternity, that is how crucial you guys are. So hence, Bob was saying that teachers must be dedicated because the role that you play and the mark that you leave shapes the future. As parents, remember, we are very limited. Because by the time they get home to us, it's way after, and they are tired. We are also tired. We look at each other and we bless each other. Tomorrow morning we send you off home. And at the end of the year, we expect to see a miracle. So that is the confidence that we have in you guys. And that is the mandate, the noble mandate that we have is to make sure that you shape them in the right direction. Because you guys have that power of shaping what is to come. But in the process of doing that, we are willing to help as parents. That's why the engagement model, we have your child, you have us as parents, and we have the educators, every person. So now, all these three stakeholders are very critical in ensuring that we achieve and we attain what we are meant to do. Shall we proceed to the next one? So now, our submission was based on this study. It's not just a submission that is submitted without the page. There was a study that was conducted in the University of Nebraska. So what they wanted to find out at the time, they needed to find out the congruence in the relationship between parent and teacher and how that can positively impact on the achievement of the learner. So it was established after the study was done, the outcome revealed that the relationship between a parent, a teacher, and a learner, if that relationship is productive, it impacts positively on the academic, social, and behavioral outcome of a child. And I can tell you now that is true. It is not only true because it was a study conducted at the university, because I said I'm sharing with you now lived experiences. So in many times or many cases where I was part of my kids' school projects, as young as they were in primary school, I would certainly know that when they are going to compete in a speech competition, when they come back and they say, this is what I got, normally it will be a gold class. Because I was there, we were there together, we involved, we prepared them until they are thoroughly ready. And when we are ready, then we are ready for standing. So I know for that. That's why I'm saying that I'm not just supporting this study out of nowhere. As a parent, I know, and I know from experience, that where I was a part of it. Let me give a typical example. The child now, our child who's now in grade 12. I think when she started learning about the word plagiarism, she was in grade 4. And I was joking with her at the time Many years later, if I ask her, what is the diary, she can tell you what that means. She wasn't British. And many years ago, I was attending a course where we were doing fingerprint and statement analysis. So I brought back home a small booklet that had the types of fingerprints and how to interpret them. So at the time, I think she was in grade 6. And she asked me, what is this? We sat down. I said to her, this are the type of fingerprints that we have. This is how we identify them and how we differentiate them. And these are the characteristics of different fingerprints. You ask me to name someone to give my answer, and maybe you can that how many types. She was in grade 6 at the time. Then this one, we move on. Ask her today. How many types of fingerprints, child, do we have? She will tell you. And I explain to you how they look like. Then I said, the impact that we make as parents without even realizing. And that is many years ago, many years ago. So then you can just imagine if you are now intentional in your involvement in what you're doing. If the school says that this is 1, 2, 3, we need parental support, you're always there for them. That's why I'm saying that I fully concur with the outcomes of this study because I know for a fact that they are indeed holding the truth. So the only time we come to realize that our kids are indeed a challenge is when the school calls, like the chairperson said, when they are called us to report that no, man, this child is out of order. So it is the only time that we become awake and aware that, okay, man, this is trouble. But it is late. Hence, we are saying that whatever you are doing as a parent now in the life of the child, remember the consequences are long-lasting. You are not doing it for high school only or primary school only. You are shaping them for the future because education is meant to shape the guys who are going to take over from us many generations from now. So without proper education, without proper socialization, if you are not involved, ultimately the nation that is going to be produced, it will be a rebellious nation. Are we in agreement with this? So I'm saying to you parents, I am not standing here to advocate for Mr. Independent colleagues. I am a parent. We are parents. And I've seen this, I've lived this, and I know for a fact that the moment you become part of, it makes an impact. Because they need you as a cheerleader, they need you as a supporter, they need you to always remind them, no one can do this better than you. You are best at this. That is what they need. It doesn't matter how difficult the task is. Because they get to school, they were going to get another person who's going to tell them, you know what, pure maths, okay, you pure maths. And they get at home, they ask you, Daddy, what do you think about pure maths and maths lit? And then you say, I tell you, know what? If there is any person who can understand pure maths in this house, it's you. Whatever they told you at school that no, switch from pure to lit, basically it crashes because of the contribution. Because remember, I will give you a quote now at the end. Shall we move to the next one? So now, this is critical parents as you are choosing to give Mr. Midu and other colleagues a chance. There is a guy who said that, I don't mind how many parents you have. They said, as long as those that are around make their presence a good one. So we don't have to be present for no reason. Be a parent with impact, add value. That's why they said, you can be having many parents, but if they are not having a positive impact, it's immaterial. You can have one with a serious impact. That one is more than enough. So let us not just be parents, but let us be parents that are adding value with the knowledge that we are here to change the future. Shall we move to the next one? Okay, this one we addressed. Let's move to the next one. No, I like this one, teachers. So this one says, I am a teacher born and bred. I believe in the advocacy of teachers. It is a calling. Though it continues, I'm going to end there. It is a calling. We don't do it for income. It is a calling. We don't do it for which income? I'm glad to hear that there is no income. So we are on the same page. It is okay. Difficult as it is, we know it is a calling. Remember, calling, you don't just do it because it's nice. Whether it's tough or not, you wake up, you proceed to do it. That's why they are saying, to be an educator is a calling. So you are doing this so that you produce people who are impassioned and empowered. So that is the beauty of being an educator. Maybe it's not for income, I'll go with you. So as I'm closing them, I'm going to quote this one. This one is my favorite one. As I'm closing parents. Let's say it will be 100 years from now. It will not matter what was in your bank account. That's why you're going to do this for income. It will not matter what was in the bank account. Man, it will not matter what type of a house you live in. Man, it will not matter what car you drive. So the world will be different because of the value you added in the life of a child. You understand the impact that you're making. So whether you're driving a Ferrari or you're quit, 100 years from now, you will not be judged by what you drove or how much was in your bank account. But the type of impact and the difference you make in the life of the young ones, because remember, 100 years from now, those will be the generation that said, those who came before us, they made way for us. So remember how critical our role is. So don't think about it as a metric involvement. Think beyond metric, strategically 10, 20, 15 years from now. And when you are home, please remind your kids about profiling, that there was this man. You can call me black if you want me. I'm not bothered. You can tell them that there was this black man who said to us, he did profiling, and he explained how crucial your behavior as a child is, because it has a tendency of catching up with you as an adult. And if whatever you committed, whatever felony you found yourself in as a child, land on the criminal record center or criminal record database, remember, you will not escape that. I said there is only one condition, you remember that, which is
Mercy.
presidential pardon. And apart from presidential pardon,
Grace.
grace. Grace. Thank you so much. Parents, I thank you.